Critics say 49%, audience say 86.
And I'm first, I got golden rings, you ain't cold as me. On my worst day, I'm frozen dreams, big as overseas. Never quit like some anime, watch your noses bleed, cause I'm hot.
Hey everybody, what's good? It's your boy Devin. Welcome back to the D3 channel. We are here with Eternals review. I haven't done a movie review in quite some time. I haven't even done a Shang-Chi review, which is crazy, but I'm gonna get back into my review game, my review bag for you guys. But if you like what you're seeing, you want to see more, click that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so every single time I drop reviews, unboxings. I got some unboxings to the side that I want to do for you guys and everything right here. You guys are the first ones to know, and thank you guys. Thank you for the new subscribers, the new viewers. Thank you for the consistent following of that Instagram page. Hit that description below and hit that Instagram link that goes straight to the D3 Comics channel. Free, public, everybody can see it. You can even look at the followers and see who is following me. Some heavy hitters like Very Gary is following me. Noah's Amazing Reviews is following me. So definitely join the D3 family. Let's continue to grow. We're getting up there to 600 followers, which is crazy because it's just nothing. It's just about comics. Just my thoughts, my opinions, my unboxings, my reviews and everything. So I'm kind of really, ever since the Eternals, I really started really hitting my opinion and stuff like that when it comes to critics and stuff like that, whatever. So we're gonna get into it. Eternals, what is it? What's it about? I'm gonna tell you the good, I'm gonna tell you the bad, and I'm gonna tell you all that nerd culture stuff about the Eternals that you may not have known either going into it or walking out of it. So let's get into it. What are the Eternals? What is this movie about? So Eternals takes place in a span of, they say, about 4,000 years, maybe 7,000 years is what they say. The Eternals have been on Earth since 7,000 years, and they are there to keep the deviants at bay. That is what their sole purpose is. They cannot influence anything when it comes to human history, change the course of it or anything like that, ordered by the Celestials. And so that's basically what this movie is that the deviants come, and so they have to come and, take care of that because that is their prime duty on Earth. And so I'm going to tell you the good that I liked about this movie. This movie is filmed gorgeously. Of course, Chloe Zhao, the Oscar award-winning director of Nomadland, has done this movie, and this movie is gorgeous. This is definitely like any other movie that we've ever seen before. I would almost compare it to the likes of Black Panther when it comes to the beauty, the brightness of colors, the gorgeousness of just the more layout, more kind of just the environment and everything, as you see in some of these videos, these video clips that I put in this review or whatever. Just really gorgeous set pieces and everything that I haven't seen honestly since Black Panther, with just showing the culture, the cities and everything like that. We even see Babylon in this movie and stuff like that. So just crazy. And also I love the characters. I really feel for the characters here because in this movie goes back and forth when it comes to the past and the present. But in the past, you kind of see, the conflicts that are internally in the Eternals is that they want to help the humans, but they can't because they're ordered by the Celestials not to. But you see that conflict there because they've been there so long. They've been there for thousands of years that they built this connection with the humans. And so they want to help, they want to protect, but they can't do it in the way that they want to. And that ends up splitting them apart, and they go their separate ways, which is kind of one of the premises of the movie, is them getting the Eternals back together because the deviants have come and everything. I will do a spoiler review of this movie review later on down the week. It'll drop later on in the week or whatever. So this is kind of like a spoiler-free review and everything. So I really love the characters. I love I feel like each one was cast perfectly. Probably my favorite one is the speedster. I cannot think of her name on the top of my head. I think it starts with an M. I'll definitely put some clip somewhere over here that shows her. Probably my favorite skill set of of the Eternals, and it's towards the end of the movie that you really get to see the highlight of what she's able to do and how they play with it. It is so sick. It's nothing like we've ever seen before when it comes to them doing speed and stuff. And that's what I really love about it. And even the physics of it, we never seen in any movie that goes with kind of just how speedsters run and everything. She was probably like honestly my favorite one, definitely towards the end. And so I really love the characters. Angelina Jolie, I love the premise of her character. I won't get into it in the spoiler free, but I will in the spoiler review. But I really love the aspect of her character and everything. And it wasn't the Selma Hayek movie or the Angelina Jolie movie or the Camille Lamajani movie, if I botched his name, sorry. They all had their fair share, and that's what I really loved about it. And I also love Kit Harington's character, Dane Whitman, who we know ends up becoming the Black Knight in the future. But he's kind of like us in, you know, in the aspect of he's surrounded by these gods, like kind of basically these gods, and he's asking the questions, why haven't you helped out with Thanos, or, you know, any other horrific tragedies that happen in the world? And so we end up finding out why. And I mean, I keep going back to it, it's because of Celestials. And that's another thing that I say that I loved about this movie, the Celestials. Let's get into the Celestials. Arishem, bruh, like the way they played with scale, this movie really shows you how we don't know anything about the MCU. Because, I mean, we see Eson the Searcher, like we see so many other Celestials in this movie, but it just shows the grand scale of things. Like there's a part in the movie where Arishem literally has his hand out and he's speaking to one of the Eternals, and I mean it's literally his hand out, and you're literally talking about, like, I'm pulling a lint off my sweatpants. I mean you can't even see the lint. That's how small the Eternal is compared to Arishem's hand. Like, it is gargantuan. Like, gargantuan ain't even a word. Like, the scale of the Celestials. Because it really opposed this threat. Like, we've encountered Thanos. We've been through, fighting Killmonger. We got through the Winter Soldier, the Quantum Realm and stuff like that. But, like, this is on a whole nother scale. Like the Invasion of New York, this doesn't compare. All that stuff is like Family Feud. This is like the end all to be all. Like, this dude and these Celestials are on a whole nother playing field that it goes into exactly what I was talking about with my future MCU spec. The new video for that dropped. I would definitely put that probably in one of the suggestion boxes towards the end, but it goes into what I was talking about with the MCU spec, that something's going to happen in MCU that is going to be on such a high scale threat, like beyond anything we've ever seen before. They're going to have to call in everyone from the multiverse to go against them, and I'm thinking the way that the MCU is going, I can see them making the Celestials a threat. I can see them making Celestials the big bad of the MCU, because it's literally, how can you go against something like, literally, I'm putting a clip right here of Eson the Searcher creating a galaxy. Like, how can you go against something that literally is creating a galaxy in the palm of his hand like it's nothing? Like, I just threw it together, honestly. Like, it is crazy. So, like, the way that the MCU is building this up, I think, like, yeah, we'll have our, down-to-earth conflicts and everything, but it'll really go into, all right, there's something out there that is beyond our beyond our comprehension, beyond our capabilities, our strength, our power. Like, we need some big, bad, big, strong, multiversal, multi-galaxy strength heroes on our side. And that's what I think the MCU is going towards, because we know Adam Warlock is coming into the game. We know that the Eternals are still there. So, I mean, we still got the Eternals and everything. Like, we have, I don't know, Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill will be a big help. But like I'm just trying to think of like what other heroes. I mean, the mutants. We know that the X-Men are coming, the Fantastic Four are coming, and I really do think that what they're gonna do is, I think that this really just plants the seed of where the MCU was going. Because I'm telling you, you're gonna need somebody that's on that scale. I honestly think this even opens the door for Galactus. Honestly, like this, like if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How big these Celestials and how powerful these Celestials are. These are no joke. Like, they're not standing face to face with you. These guys are literally standing in space, like boundless space, and they're towering over planets. Like, that is insane. Like, probably one of my favorite scenes with the Celestial, just showing the grand scale, the power of Celestials, is towards the end. And I'll get into that in my spoiler review. But this movie was great. I love the story. That's another thing that I like. I love the story because it's very compelling, because it really plays with the question of mortality versus morality. And what's wrong, like, do we do this because this is what we're told, or do we disobey in the greater damage, the potential greater damage is lingering, is open, kind of for interpretation. And so I don't want to go into it too much with the spoiler and everything, but that's kind of the question that the Eternals are battling right now, because they end up finding out like the truth behind some things and everything. And so it really battles the question, and that's what I loved about the characters, because some of the characters stand firm in why they're there. This is what they're supposed to do. This is what we're created for. But then you got others that are just like, I'm not rocking with that. And you see that conflict, and they have those debates, and that's what I really enjoy about what Marvel is doing with these movies that have more than like just a focused character. That's what I love about Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that, because you have like these different personalities, these different point of views, and sometimes you think everybody is on the same road when it comes to, all right, this is our objective, this is what we're supposed to do, and some people aren't. Some people have valid like reasonings to why they're not like pushing back, why they're kind of just following orders and just being the soldier that they're created to be. And this movie puts that out on display. Like, you really see, like, dude, like, if these guys are having issues with what's going on, how is Captain America, Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, like, how are they supposed to deal with that when these literal gods that have been on our earth for 7,000 years are having a hard time dealing with it? You know what I mean? So it's like, it is crazy, but the story is just so good. I love the action in it. Really displays the powers. The VFX are gorgeous in this movie, and it's something like we never seen before. I think probably the closest that I can say that it goes to is almost a night and day thing with like kind of Doctor Strange and Eternals. Like, Doctor Strange, when you look at his power set and everything in the MCU, it's rough, it's sparks, and you see the outlines, stuff like that, kind of fidgeting and kind of just moving around, like glitchy and stuff like that, whatever. But with the Eternals, it's the complete opposite. It's like graceful. It's like very God angel like, and I think that's what I love the most about the VFX, is that they really show a clear difference of, like, if you compare their powers to Doctor Strange's powers, you see kind of the difference in the kind of the, what's the word for it, the I guess kind of the display, the elegance of their powers compared to Doctor Strange's, but compared to, sorcerers and stuff like that. Even Scarlet Witch, her powers and stuff like that is, rough, dark, red, and, chaos and stuff like that. And theirs is just nice and gold, clean and stuff like that. And so it's really dope what they did with the effects. It's nothing that you've never seen before. And so, I honestly give this, like, I walked out, I saw the movie on Thursday, and I gave, on my initial review, I gave it an 8 out of 10. because this movie is a setup movie, and that's what, and I appreciate it for what it is. This isn't a movie that is kind of just, you know, this is it, and that's one and done movie. Okay, we can go on to something else. No, this movie sets up so many things, especially the end credit and the mid credit scenes, which is bananas. Like that mid credit scene, man, that mid credit scene, crazy. And we found out something from Chloe Zhao about the end credit scene that makes it even more bonkers, what it is. But I'll talk about that in a spoiler review. But yeah, this movie, when I initially gave it an 8 out of 10 at first, but then after sleeping on it and then just thinking about what this movie really just set up and opened for the MCU, I had to bump it up to a 9. Like, this is a 9 out of 10 movie for me. Like, I know it's not your standard Marvel movie, and I like that. That is good, because at the end of the day, if you keep going to the same formula that everybody's used to, the movies aren't going to be fresh. They're going to be stale. They're going to be like, oh, we saw this before in phase 1, phase 3, you know, we're going to call back the previous phases of the movies because it's going to be the same. This is a movie that we've never seen before, and I like that. I honestly like that, and that's why I brought up the critic and audience rating, because the critics went so hard in this movie. Because, and honestly, it pisses me off, just because with critics, it's because they don't know something, they go at it already with a negative mindset. And so that's kind of the thing with Marvel and Eternals. And I mean, in fair point, Eternals isn't a really popular group. Not that they're hated, but they just haven't been used or utilized a lot in the Marvel comics and stuff like that. And then when you got beings like Franklin Richards and The One Above All and the Living Tribunal and stuff like that, that are, you know, these multiversal powerhouses, it's kind of like the Eternals is kind of short stack compared to them. You know, it's kind of just like they just haven't been used a lot. So I can see, you know, why going into this movie there was a lot of skeptics. We don't know anything about them. Okay, you're bringing in a new group that, you know, that aren't really well known in comics. So how is that going to translate onto, you know, the movie screen? And so my thing is, just because it's not Captain America or Spider-Man or Hulk or Iron Man or anything, that because it's not those characters that are widely known, generationally known, doesn't mean that the movie is going to suck and bad. And so when the critics attack this movie so hard, it's like, that's lame. Because it's like, are you really going in it to really see what, like, are you really looking at the movie in its entirety? Or are you just looking at it as, I don't know these characters and I want to see if this movie can inform me as much as it can on it? That's not what the movie set out to do. It told you the origin, it told you everything, but it's opening the grand scale. This movie was a setup. Now, I highly doubt they're going to do an Eternals 2, and I'm fine with them doing the Eternals movie and it'll be one and done, and then we start seeing them sprinkled out in the MCU. I think that's fine. I think that's perfect. I think that makes sense. So I'm fine with Eternals being just a standalone movie, because honestly, I even though on my higher ranking right now of Marvel movies, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Black Widow, for sure, 100%. For sure, Shang-Chi just does something for me when it comes to action. But I understand Eternals' point of view, because Eternals was more about the story, more about, you know, we're about to be faced with some cosmic, you know, galactic, godly, you know, influences that we just can't shoot up into space and just think we just gonna one and done these dudes. No, you're literally talking about, again, these celestials create suns, moons, galaxies, planets. Like, these guys are on a whole nother scale, like insane. But that's honestly my review for this movie. I think the movie was great for what it is, and that's kind of what you got to go into it. You got to go into it with this is a setup movie, and it does that just fine. It sets up a lot in this movie. I love the characters. The characters were interesting. You really understood that, what their conflict with, not wanting to help, humans but can't. But then, so I guess before I in this review, I'll do the things that I didn't like in it or whatever. I didn't like the deviants, and I didn't bring them up. I didn't like the deviants. I can understand why doing them in the comics wouldn't have worked in movies in a way, but I mean, the deviants were kind of just a plot that really didn't need to be there, but I understood why they had to be there, if that makes sense. Like, in order for the Eternals to move forward, the deviants had to be there to allow them to move forward to the bigger problem. And so, I felt like they kind of wasn't utilized the way that I thought they would have been utilized. And so that was kind of like the negative thing for me with the deviants. It was kind of just like, they're not really doing anything. Like, they're not really, a big reason to, the world ending or anything like that or whatever. Like, the way, I will say, the way the trailer showed Crow and the deviants, stuff like that it was going to be on some, worldly type stuff. Like, they're everywhere and everything, and that just wasn't it. So that was the thing that I was disappointed about with the deviants. Other than that, like, I can't really think of anything negative about it besides the deviants being kind of underutilized in this. But I understand that, to play off why they're the story that was written by Jack Kirby, that in order for the Eternals to really come out from hiding and really, start participating in, issues and everything, is that the deviants have to be involved. But that was it, honestly. I mean, this movie was a 9 out of 10 for me. I'm gonna go see it again. I love this movie. This movie was great to me. I'm gonna see it again with full understanding of what I know now, and really just sit back and just enjoy it. Like, again, I can honestly watch the Celestial clips all day. Like, dude, like, guys, when you see it, but let me know, comment below, let me know what you guys thought of the movie. Did you think that it lived up to the expectations of what everybody, what the critics say, or do you honestly think that the critics are just bugging and it's the reason why the audience rating is higher, 10 times higher than what the critic rating is? And just let me know what you thought of the movie, what you think going forward, what the MCU is preparing for with the Celestials, with the Eternals, and everything. So I will be doing my spoiler review right after this, so that'll be a new video that drops or whatever. I just go into full spoilers and everything. But that is it for this. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you see and you want to see more, click that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, so every single time I drop reviews, unboxing, everything like that, you guys are the first ones to know. And remember the golden rule: collect what you love, but love what you collect. And I will see you guys later.